name is John Arrigo Nelson, and I'm a composer member with Alia Musica and the group's guitarist as well. And as we approach the Here Now Festival, I've been observing the rehearsals, and I have a piece on the program as well.
This time around you're not playing, so you're just there, and I was wondering if it's a little boring to observe rehearsals.
No, not at all. It's fascinating, actually. It's very interesting to see these pieces take shape as we head into the festival. It's more interesting probably when I have the scores with me to kind of follow along and see what changes you're making. And it's very helpful to me as a composer as well, you know, to see, you know, how these things work and, you know, what issues you encounter as an ensemble.
So I imagine it must be different when it's your piece in particular that you're observing first rehearsal.
Oh yeah, of course.
How does that feel?
Well, I mean, it's very different. For me, I always assume in a rehearsal of my piece, if something doesn't sound the way I had expected, I assume that it's my fault. You know, or that's the first thing that I consider. So what did I do wrong?
Really? Well,
yeah.
That's very nice, because as the ensemble, as the performers, when we know that something is not sounding right and the composer is there, I think what we assume is that it's our mistake, and that the composer knows that, and it can be a little awkward. And there's one thing that you said the other day, that the composer should not belong in first rehearsal. It's actually nice to hear that you think it's your fault, not ours.
Right. Well, and then, like I say, if I'm observing a rehearsal of a Varese piece or a piece by an established composer, then I might not assume that it's the composer's fault. But certainly when it's my music, that's the first thing I consider.
That's really nice.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised at how well that first rehearsal went. I think the players are taking it very seriously, and they've obviously practiced, and I was very impressed with all of the work that you had put into the piece. Things, you know, it's kind of sections of it are pretty chaotic, but as a composer, you probably feel the same way. There's always something that amidst the chaos, you think, oh, this will be a nice moment. You know, this one moment will shine through. And for the conductor to have also recognized those moments and, you know, to have you working to bring those out was very nice.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm happy that we're doing the piece. We found the right players, and it's also a great contrast for the Varese piece, the instrumentation.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've talked about it, but I will not forgive you for pointing that out. That one of the main motives,
right,
could be read as a quote from Petrushka.
Right.
Yeah,
it's the first thing that jumped out at me. You know, is it in the same key? I don't know.
Well, no, I don't know either. It's G, F sharp, and E.
Okay.
I don't know what Petrushka is.
You should be allowed to use those three notes without me hearing.
But scale.
Right. That's all.
Yeah. And then I was thinking about it, and we talked about the beginning of the piece, but there is a feeling about the Rite of Spring with the solo in the woodwind instrument, followed by a chaotic.
Right. Yeah, it's just oboe instead of bassoon, and as that solo, the melody progresses, the other instruments kind of enter and kind of ornamented, and then drop out, and then you have the solo continue. So it struck me, and the language and the texture really struck me as being similar to that opening.
Yeah, that was a great thing that you pointed out. I have been going more for the influence of Varese's electronic and synthetic sound thinking. There is this section where there's loud chords followed or alternating with soft chords. Right. Where I think what he has in mind is this tape, two tapes, one tape containing a very loud chord, very loud, and a tape containing a soft chord. And I can imagine Varese wanting to split the tape, both of them, and then put alternative things, so that they just go from one to the other without transition, so I think there is a lot of that in the Varese, and that's what I had been.
Also, even those chords that swell the, that's like reverse envelope. You know?
I think that comes from a piano attack.
Right.
That you'll hear the dang, and then if you reverse it, which they could do back then with the tape, just put the tape backwards, you get the which happens many times. Yeah, we were working on that. It's interesting.
Right.
So, and the other pieces in the program, we have a premiere by Tsontakis, which is it's hard to wrap our minds about.
I know. Yeah, I remember when you told me over the phone, like, wait, piece are we doing of his? You know,
Yeah.
a new one that he's writing for us.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Plus.
Yeah.